Can a pair of designer heels and a lavish lifestyle buy you happiness? For Norma, a 24-year-old Nigerian Igbo girl from a humble background, the answer seemed like a resounding yes. Norma had always dreamed of being a rich man's wife, with all the luxuries and status that came with it. She would spend hours and hours scrolling through social media, drooling over the lavish lifestyles of the wealthy elite. She had seen it all: the designer clothes, the exotic vacations, the luxury cars and mansions, and the endless bankrolls. To her, it was the ultimate life. She was convinced that marrying a rich man would solve all her problems and elevate her status in society. So she ensured that she never dated the broke guys who came around to ask for her hand in friendship, even though they looked quite decent and promising. Because of this, Norma's friends would tease her often, saying that she would eventually marry a rich man one day, and she would giggle, believing it was destined to be. But little did she know that her life was about to take a dramatic turn. Norma's life changed when she met Chief Okoro Peterson, a wealthy businessman, at a high society party held in Anambra State. The moment their eyes locked, she knew she had found her ticket to the high life. He was charming, suave, and showered her with attention. Chief Okoro was more than 20 years her senior, but Norma did not think twice about it. She was ready to do whatever it took to snag him. The courtship was a whirlwind. Chief Okoro showered Norma with money and expensive gifts, took her on luxurious vacations, and introduced her to his high society friends. Norma was smitten. She was living her dream, and before she knew it, she was engaged to him. Her family was over the moon, and she felt like she had hit the jackpot. But as the wedding bells drew closer, Norma began to notice the whispers and side glances from Chief Okoro's family and friends. They seemed to be sizing her up, and she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was in over her head. The wedding was a grand affair, no doubt, with A-list celebrities and politicians in attendance. At every turn, the guests cheered Norma on, calling her sweet names like Achalugo, because to them she was the wife of an Odogwu. Norma felt like a queen, beaming in her designer wedding gown, and she couldn't wait to start her new life as Mrs. Okoro. The honeymoon phase was everything Norma had dreamed of. Chief Okoro spared no expense, whisking her away to exotic destinations and showering her with designer gifts. But as the days turned into weeks, Norma began to realize that being a rich man's wife wasn't all champagne and caviar. As she settled into her new life, Norma began to feel suffocated by the expectations that came with being a rich man's wife. She was expected to be a trophy wife, not a partner, and the weight of her new role threatened to crush her. Chief Okoro was traditional, and his family was too. They expected her to conform to their ways, which meant staying at home to cook, clean, and manage the household, attending social events only when her husband permitted her to. But what hurt her the most was the lack of freedom that came with it. Norma was locked up within the four walls of the magnificent mansion she lived in, with able bodyguards watching her every move and ensuring that she never left the premises except on her husband's orders. Although everything she needed to be comfortable indoors was given to her, Norma felt like she was trapped in a gilded cage with no say in her own life. She was just a possession, a status symbol for Chief Okoro's wealth and power. Worst of all, the romance between them was gone. Chief Okoro became cold and distant. He was always away from home for business trips and would only return at the end of the month to perform his conjugal rites. Whenever they were done coupling, Chief Okoro would tell Norma to shave her pubic hairs in front of him, then send her off to her room immediately, telling her that he would dispose of it himself. Norma did not think much of this at first, since he was her husband. But when this singular act went on consecutively for 6 months into their marriage, she began to think that something was not right. As time went on, Norma got used to her life of solitude indoors. Her friends and family members did not bother coming around to see her because Chief Okoro had told them not to visit her frequently. They did not give much thought to it because they thought that he was probably just a private person who preferred a sedentary lifestyle. Besides, They believed that life had already handed out a box of chocolates to Norma and she was busy enjoying its delicious taste. Little did they know that her desperation for a life of luxury and wealth would lead her down a path of no return. One fateful day, Norma received a call from Chief Okoro, who called to inform her that he would be returning home any moment from then, thereby instructing her to prepare his favorite meal, semovita and fisherman soup. He also told her to ensure that the master bedroom was cleaned, radiantly looking, and smelt nice for their activities in the other room. "I hope you haven't shaved yet," he asked. "No, I haven't," Norma replied, remembering that it was the end of the month once again. The line went dead, and Norma quickly went into the kitchen to cook. When she was done cooking, she went into the master bedroom to clean it up. While dusting the dresser, her mind raced with thoughts of why Chief Okoro always loved to watch her shave and what he did with her pubic hair afterward. She was lost in deep thoughts, wondering if she had made a mistake and did not know when her hands accidentally pushed a small hand mirror that laid on the dresser. The mirror toppled over, shattering into pieces on the marble floor. Norma bent down to gather the broken pieces, and her eyes caught sight of a red wooden box that lay conspicuously under Chief Okoro's king-size bed. She had never seen the box before, maybe because Chief Okoro had previously kept it perfectly hidden. As the custodian of their home, Norma knew the house and everything therein like the back of her hand, but she had never seen the box before, so she was curious to know what was inside, forgetting that curiosity was what killed the cat. Norma proceeded to bring out the box from under the bed and kept it on the floor. She did not know that she had stumbled upon Chief Okoro's secret and that her world would come crashing down when she uncovered it. Norma slowly opened the box, and what she saw shook her whole being. She was greeted by the foul odor that emanated from the box itself. It was a funky smell of pubic hair and the stench of human blood. She covered her nose and reached into the box to retrieve its contents. Inside the box, there was a picture of Norma clad in her wedding gown, with Chief Okoro by her side, alongside 6 other wedding photos of him with different women. A red X sign was marked above the head of each bride. At that moment, Norma began to put the pieces of the puzzle together. She now understood the context behind the whispers and side glances from Chief Okoro's family and friends, who knew what awaited her when she got married to him. The fact that despite his wealth, he had no maids or attendants to run errands around the house, so no one would discover his dirty little secrets, and his instructions to keep her locked up and secluded, so she wouldn't have anyone to confide in or who would raise an eyebrow. It was all a part of his master plan. The scales fell off from Norma's eyes, and she saw her life for what it truly was, a carefully constructed illusion. Norma fell to the ground, her hands trembling as the picture slipped off her fingers, scattering all over the place. It dawned on her that she was not only Chief Okoro's 7th wife, but also a sacrificial lamb to be slaughtered like he did his other wives. She had previously heard rumors that his late wives died mysteriously from the terrible miscarriages they had, but she knocked it off, telling Chief Okoro that she was confident that she would be the only one to finally produce an heir to his empire. Norma couldn't hold back her tears anymore. She rolled all over the floor, drowning in tears. She began to question whether the luxury she enjoyed was worth the cost of her life and happiness. She was so engrossed in her ordeal and oblivious that Chief Okoro had returned. He pulled up in his Bentley and walked into the house, calling out for her as he took giant strides up the stairs leading to his bedroom. Chief Okoro opened his bedroom door, wondering why he had gotten no response from Norma. He popped his face through the door in search of her, and simultaneously, Norma looked up upon hearing the door creak open. She gasped in shock as Chief Okoro stepped inside to behold the spectacle before him. His lips coiled up in a wry grin, and instantly, Norma knew that this was the beginning of the end. Dear viewers, the moral lesson of the story is that we should be wary of covetousness, as it is the inlet and encouragement to evil. In the same way, Norma's story serves as a reminder that sometimes the things we chase most fervently are the very things that could destroy us, because not everything that glitters is gold. So dear, what do you think about the story? Did Norma get what she deserved? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting African folk tales. I look forward to engaging with you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.